All right, you stupid, sexy humans, you. Welcome back. It's me, Addy, again, and I hope you guys are doing amazing. As always, we're back on another beautiful Sunday with another beautiful live stream for Wheel Spin number 5. Wheel Spin Sunday on an actual Sunday, baby. Hope everyone's doing amazing. Thank you so much for hanging out. Hope you guys are having an incredible weekend. Teo, Lazy, I see you with the Treato for the doggo. Thank you for starting the stream off right, as always, and for watering the streamer. Thank you guys, as always, for hanging out. Lazy, Teo, Martin, good to see you, man. Ween, hope you had an amazing concert. And Ortis, thank you, everybody, for being here. I'm super excited. This is going to be our Wheel Spin Sunday, 5th edition. So, for those of you who don't know, those of you who are not in the know, this is where we spin the sacred wheel of all of y'all's votes for what game you want to see me play next on the channel, and we decide the next game courtesy of the sacred wheel of daddyism that we all pray to here for the next game for the next month. So, we're going to figure out the March game today, and here are all of your votes. Thank you, everybody, so much who voted. As always, Corgi's Cozy Hike is absolutely eclipsing everything else here. It's the most hotly anticipated game. Shout out to Melly. Shout out to everyone who lended her their energy for this spirit bomb that is a Corgi's Cozy Hike. Most hotly anticipated game around town. And then, yeah, the second most voted game is Plushie from the Sky. Joker's really wanted this one, and Jacob's been jumping in, pitching in to help there. Corgi game, baby. Is this finally going to be the wheel spin where Belly is the happiest lady of all time? We'll see. We'll see. I'm excited, man. So we just finished up with Xenoblade. Shout out to Kill. That was the last game that won. That's the last game we played through. Is it time for the Corgi game, though? Let's find out. And anybody who hasn't voted yet, this is your last chance. Please feel free. I would love to get you all in here. Anybody who hasn't, anybody who would like to. And let me move my base cam out of the way. These are all the games we've gotten. You can help some friends out in the community by dropping in your vote for their games. Or you can add any game you want down here. Anything you want to see on the channel, all right? And we'll get you in there on the wheel. So anybody who hasn't voted, everyone gets at least one vote for each Wheel Spin Sunday, each voting session of the month. So that's how it works. And if you're sub to the channel, you get an extra vote. So at bare minimum, everyone gets one. So if anybody would like to vote, you haven't already, now is your chance. But I think this time around, we're just going to jump right into it after we get anyone in here who would like to. So going once. Going twice. Going thrice. Going thrice. All my votes just Corgi game? Got you, Tail. Yeah, I don't think you voted this time, right? Okay, got you with 2 votes for Corgi. My man. All right, there we go. So, Corgi now has 30. And let's go ahead and add that to the wheel. So here's the wheel with all your games. I've loaded them up. And we're going to go boop. 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 So 2 more. Melly, Jacob, Lag, and Mateo have all put forth their prayers and manifestation powers to make this game happen. Respect. I can't wait, man. This is always so exciting for me because all these suggestions are absolutely amazing. A lot of these are things that I would love to play. A lot of these are things I normally would never play, but I love to play anyway, because the beauty of Wheel Spin Sunday and deciding the next game is I'll get to play things potentially that I never thought I'd play before and get to see a new side of gaming that I'm normally not exposed to, and learn more about myself that way, bring exposure to games that we normally never expect on the channel. So I can't wait. All right, here we go. We're gonna spin the wheel. All right, all right, all right. Drum roll, please. Is it gonna be a Corgi's Cozy Hike? Let's find out. Join me right here, right now on twitch.tv/Addy again. Vote Morrowind? Okay, I got you. Or wait, that's That's Kappa. All right, good thing I saw the Kappa. But Martin, genuinely, if you want to vote for something here, please feel free, brother. And I'll get you in. Absolutely. If anybody is yet to vote, if anyone of you who would love to vote here, like to see me play something on the channel, please feel free to pitch in. GSD stole my Rosen? I have to chase him. Oh god. GSD! Don't be stealing no Rosens. Go steal all the strawberries. Not sure you'd like me if I voted for a 100-hour game. It's all good, brother. Like, I just love it that you guys get to pitch in about stuff that you love to play that you can see on the channel, right? I want to make everybody feel as included as possible. So it's not just me playing only the games I want to play. So even if it's a 100-hour game, 200, whatever, right? Even if it's like a CRPG, which I normally never go through, I will at least do... So the way we have it set up in the rule set is that I will do at least 3 streams of your chosen game. And I'm going to do my best to get into it, enjoy it. And if I don't enjoy it, hey, I'm around here for like 10 hours per stream. So it's going to be 30 hours of playing the game, give it a fair shake, and you guys will get to see the game. And I'll get to experience it and go, you know what? It's not for me, but it's cool. I got to try something I normally would never try. Ever played Diablo 1? I have not. I have not. And my best friend in the community, Tuzi, he loves Diablo. So it wouldn't just be you who'd be elated if Diablo, if that's what you want to vote for, wins, but a couple other people too. I know there's a lot of Diablo love. 300-hour game? Oh my god. Kaz. Impossible. The Patriots are striking back with games longer than 100 hours at this point. Throw in Diablo 1? I got you. There we go. Hell yeah. Martin's voting. That's amazing. Diablo 1. That's 1 vote. From the man, the myth. To play any good books lately. Alright, alright, alright. And, by the way, Martin, and for those of you who don't know, if this doesn't win, it will return in every future wheel. So the goal is to play through every single one of these games. And every single voting session, and sorry, I know you can't see here. Let me show you all the games. Every single voting session, you can re-vote for your game. You can vote for other people's games. It can be real flexible. So this will forever be here, and eventually we will get to it unless you change it, unless, you know, whatever. It's really unlucky, but it'll show up at some point, you know, and we'll definitely play it. My goal is to get through all of your games. Need to do something like this, to be honest. I am really happy with this system I came up with. It took me a while to think of something like this because I've always wanted to do a voting system for the community, but I'm not a fan of the traditional voting system of like, okay, these are the games I want to play, and, you know, I'll let you guys vote on this selection of games that I want to play, because it might not even be games that you guys like. It might not even be games that you want to see. So I figured out this system that allows you guys to just vote for, you know, your favorite games, what you guys play. And that way, you know, everybody is included somehow. And we have rules around this, or like little details here and there. But yeah, the gist of it is that, like, we have rules to keep it balanced, but the gist of it is everyone gets at least 1 vote per month or per voting session for the next game we're going to be playing, the next community game. And people who support, I want to get back in some way. So anybody who subs to the channel, they get extra vote. And there's also a channel redeem that gives you an extra vote too for like 50,000 points. I've always wanted to think of something real expensive with the channel points because I know folks stockpile those a lot. And then yeah, so that's these folks over here who have the stockpiled votes from the channel points. So lag, this Giga Chat here has like 5 votes.
Where's the crack?
Thank you, Teo, for the crack. All right, very important. This is crucial before we spin the wheel. Takes a lot of gusto to make that happen. I've been doing polls in the Discord where I spin games suggested on my rank 1 wheel, 4 games, then poll it. It's a lot of steps. Okay, nice. Yeah. So it's very similar, basically. I take all of these votes, and then we throw them into this wheel, and then we let the wheel decide. So everyone's game has a chance of winning, right? It's not just, okay, whichever one has the most votes. And so, yeah, obviously the ones that have more votes have a higher chance. So that way it feels like the more people who are praying for a game, or even if there's just one man fighting a one-man battle, like, let's see, let's look for an example here. Like Seb, for example, with Bravely Default 2, right? Every session he's put in a vote or two for Bravely Default 2. The harder you pray, the more you vote, the more that game's gonna, the higher the likelihood of the game getting selected. And I really like that concept. So, all right, chat. All right, if there's no one else who would like to throw in a vote who hasn't already, I think we got pretty much everybody here as well. Right, I know Martin just voted, Teo did too. Yeah, everybody here. Sadly, I don't think Highguard will win. Oh my god, that game is shutting down in a couple days. Shit. I forgot to reach out to Jacob and be like, Jacob, Evan, you want to take your votes out of this? And redistribute? It'll be hilarious if this one man, because the earliest I can stream this coming week is going to be, what, Thursday? Or, no, I'm probably going to be streaming Wednesday, because Monday and Tuesday I have some stuff going on. And I think Wednesday is when the game shuts down. So if we land on this, we might have to respin. We might no shit have to respin. This is like a meme joke suggestion, because there are a couple of those too. And funnily, chat, here's a fun fact, right? I actually played a bit of Concord, I played a bit of Highguard off stream with Tuzi. We had a little idea for some content for his channel, and we were playing it, and he actually kind of liked it, and I'm not gonna lie, I kind of liked it too. I kind of enjoyed the game, and it had a lot of potential, right? The potential was there. You could tell that the devs cared. It's just that they ran out of, you know, the game was rushed out the front gate. It was overhyped, you know, out the wazoo, and investors wanted to back out. So it led them to this decision, unfortunately, to shut the game down. Because I'm not gonna lie to you guys, like, listen, I don't have any interest in more hero shooter games, right? I think Overwatch and Rivals is sufficient, more than enough. We don't need more of them. But for what it was, I tried it out, I played it. It was actually pretty good. It wasn't terrible. It didn't suck, right? I was free to play, so we were like, you know what? Let's give this a shot. Let's run through it, see what we think. And then, yeah, Tuzi was absolutely gutted when he heard the news about the game shutting down in a couple days. It went the way of Concord, which, sadly, is anybody surprised, right? Unreal, it shut down so fast. Yeah, and again, are we surprised, though? It was basically dead on arrival, man. I think Jeff made a big misstep promoting it the way he did at the Game Awards, saving it for the last slot, overhyping the shit out of it, setting expectations sky high, and then people immediately being disappointed when they saw the trailer within like 3 seconds. Okay, wait, what? We're just writing this one off. But the last slot of the Game Awards, that's where you announce shit like Half-Life 3. That's where you announce stuff like, I don't know, Dino Crisis Remake or something. Like something that people really want, have been looking forward to. You know, if the game didn't get an A-tier spot at the Game Awards and got pushed too early, yeah, exactly. It wouldn't have done so bad. I think so. If they had kind of just almost stealth released it, stealth marketed, done like a light bit of promotion for the game out the front gate and slowly but surely built it up and attracted an audience, that would have worked much better for the game. It would have worked way better in the game's favor. 200%. Jacob, we were just talking about you. Good thing you showed up. I was about to spin the wheel. Jacob needs to get us out of Highguard. I don't care that Evan's in here too. Take his vote and put it into something. Put it into something else. Go, 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 go. Go, go, go. I totally forgot about this, because the earliest I can stream this week is when Highguard is shutting down. Put the cookie down. Put the Highguard down. Half-Life Alex was the Half-Life 3. Just they can't say 3. Yeah, Valve just has this condition where they're not able to count to the number 3. So therefore, Half-Life is both Alex. Half-Life 3 is both Alex and the friends we made along the way. What's wild is the profits from games like Highguard are so ridiculous, the publisher will just move on and push another one. Yeah, I mean, it's Riot Games, right? So, I mean, yeah, they have like fuck you money, basically, from what I understand. And it's interesting because Riot also aren't they the ones who acquired that game Hytale? Teo and I played a bit of it, right? The game very similar to Minecraft. They acquired that, they didn't really do anything with it, and the developers bought it back, which I found kind of amusing. And I'm glad they did. I'm curious to see where that game goes. For every 12 failures of a live service game, and one that succeeds will make up for it and profit. Yeah. I mean, there's still a big push for live service, man. And I'll never understand it, because what you have to understand is that we have two big behemoths in this live service market that will just absolutely absorb and demolish anything else that comes out even remotely similar to it, right? In the form of Overwatch and Marvel Rivals, right? And obviously Fortnite, the big, elephant in the room. So to me, it's like, why would you even try and go in that direction to replicate their success when they are as gigantic as they are, and people are obviously going to continue to flock to what they've, grown accustomed to with those games? Why would they try out something new, right? Because those games are already raking in so much. People are already, well ingrained into those fandoms, into those games. Nobody's going to want to play something like Concord. Nobody's going to want to play something like Highguard. So, yeah, it's weird, man. There's this weird obsession with live service, and a part of me gets why that's the case, because when these executives, right, greenlight projects like this, and they go, okay, we need to do live service because live service is big right now, that's when, yes, it's starting to grow, become big, but then it takes a while to actually make the games. And by the time the games have been made, by the time they're about to push the games out, that ship has sailed, man. If Fortnite is demolishing you, Overwatch is demolishing you, right? Marvel Rivals, stuff like that. So, you got to be able to predict what's going to happen and understand what people want in the now that is going to work for you when you actually develop it and release it, right? So yeah, it's weird, dude. Like, it made me so sad when I found out that with Bluepoint that got shut down, which I had so many high hopes for, and it's just so tragic it came to that, because I love their stuff. Yeah, I think Demon's Souls remake was amazing. I love Bloodborne. I was looking forward to the prospect of getting a Bloodborne remake from them, even though I wouldn't die for it. I think Bloodborne's fine. It just needs a 60 FPS patch for PC. We don't need a remake. But I just know that Bluepoint would have done an awesome job. I was gutted when I found out that because of poor management, they were just, shuttered. And that they were working on a God of War live service instead of, what people actually wanted, which was the Bloodborne remake, anything else they could have done, like a Legend of Dragoon remake. And the executive there at Bluepoint, he really wanted a Legend of Dragoon remake himself. He's like, if there's enough interest, we'll think about it and we'll consider it and we might do it. But this was before they got acquired by Sony. So I don't know. My whole point is that, yeah, there's an unhealthy push for it, and it kind of sucks. The push for live service is exactly what I just said. They want to slice. They kick the shit out of markets like single-player narratives, monetarily speaking. Yeah, they do. I mean, just through the microtransactions, the skins, cosmetics, I mean, that rakes in gazillions and billions and jillions. So, why would you not want to make something like that from their POV? But at the same time, you gotta understand that, like, dude, why would anyone play your... It's like trying to create your own fast food chain to compete with McDonald's as a relative nobody, right? It's not... it's just not gonna happen, Anytime I hear a revered studio is being relegated to live service, I know they're about to get killed. Yeah, like, I could not... It was just astounding to me, man, that Sony would even consider and entertain the thought of making a studio like Bluepoint work on a live service game. And, like, surprise, surprise, when they, according to insider reports, went up to Sony and were like, yeah, we can't do it. And then they got shuttered. Like, it's like, trying to... I don't know, trying to use a wrench to brush your teeth. It doesn't make any sense. Same shit happened to Lion's Head. Damn. Like a God of War live service game? What the fuck are you even thinking? In what universe is that something people want? In what universe is that something people want? And in what universe does it make any sense to get a studio that's renowned for making single-player games and single-player remakes and remakes to the highest possible caliber in what world does it make sense to make them work on a live service? Like, explain it, dude. I don't know, man. There's just... I just feel like there's a weird brain-eating amoeba when it comes to the games industry right now, in a lot of ways. Where it's like, here's the most obvious shit you could do that makes the most sense, but for some reason you're not doing that, and you're wondering why things are going so wrong, right? That's why I find the memes so hilarious that are about, like, Gabe Newell and Steam. Just Steam does nothing, and it's the best company ever, right? Meanwhile, Sony, you know, Microsoft, Xbox, they do all these like million and one things and are like just going in circles, zigzags, and they're wondering why shit isn't working out. People are getting laid off. People are stepping down. Wonder if it was them taking a page out of Microsoft's playbook, which is buying studios just to kill them, gut them for IPs and personnel so no one else can get them. Yeah, it's basically what Microsoft did, which was also really disheartening, like how they bought Arcane, how they bought, you know, Tango Gameworks. That was the one that sucked the most for me, because I loved Hi-Fi Rush, man. Are you kidding me? That game was unbelievable. And dude, I mean, Xbox, they have to be lying through their teeth. I'm sorry, but they're liars, because they were like, this game has done wonders for us, all right? It hit the sales expectations. This is amazing. And they said the same bullshit with Game Pass. They're like, we've raked in like a gazillion in cash. Hell yeah. And then like the next thing you know, all right, it's $360 a year for Game Pass, and Tango is shut down because we didn't hit the expectations. Like, what are we doing, dude? I'm glad they came back in some way as a different studio. So they're not entirely out of the picture, but it sucks when you get acquired and then, you know, like we're living in a timeline right now where what it should be like is, okay, you've been acquired, you have all these dev kits, you have all this money, you have all this backing to make the coolest, dankest shit ever. But instead, okay, no, you're just getting acquired to, you know, say goodbye to your livelihood too. And that's that. Just move on. It's so crooked, you know? I actually found out they buy small studios and basically do nothing with them so they can write them off for taxes. Oh, that's so shitty. Yeah, I didn't even think of that. They do it for tax write-off purposes. You have to show no profit to write it off as loss. Yeah, it's crap, dude. Yeah. I mean, there are still good games coming out here and there. That it's not all doom and gloom, but there's so much stuff that, you know, we care about that has gotten so rotten. And, you know, you can only hope for the best going forward in whatever situation we find ourselves in now, which is not the best of situations. Like, you know, Xbox announced what their new console, Project Helix, which is basically a PC. Microsoft is making a PC. Wowza. I mean, we don't know anything yet. We'll hope for the best, but my perspective on it is that, dude, if it's going to be, you know, more expensive than usual than a console, then at that point, just, you know, build your own PC. So, and I think that's just the direction things are going, is there's going to be a platform that can play everything in one place, right? Which is, again, for the most part, a PC. And you're not going to have, I mean, from the company standpoint, right? You're not going to give anyone incentive to go out and buy the system if you're not going to have exclusives on it. Like things to get people to go out and buy an Xbox, things to get people to go out and experience something you can only get on that system that they've made. It seems like it's just going to be a universal platform, which is, I don't know, like, not a great thing. I'm all for, like, games being able to be played everywhere. That's priority number one, should be accessibility for everybody. But at the same time, we need this healthy competition, right? As much as I think the console wars are shitty, just enjoy what you play on, let other people enjoy what they play on. Competition drives excellence, right? We need Sony to look at what, you know, Microsoft are doing and go, okay, we can one-up them if we do this, we do that, if we put resources into this, make these kind of games, and Xbox to do the same thing. And if we're at the point where, okay, now it's just all this third-party shit, then I don't know, that diminishes the competition between them. But yeah, I don't know. Publishers are 100% the problem, like Nintendo, Microsoft, and Sony. Eat my shorts. Yeah, eat Martin's YouTube shorts. Nintendo, Microsoft, Sony, you're not doing anything. Just go. If you might as well just spend your time watching Martin's YouTube shorts. They're really good. All right, do something good with your time. Don't shutter studios. Unless you're Nintendo, then competition drives lawsuits. Yeah, Nintendo is just a whole other can of worms with their lawsuits and just coming after you with their shadow lawyers. Or you can't do the thing that only, you know, we're allowed to do. Otherwise, you're gonna go broke and be homeless and legal fees. Go to hell. But anywho's, as I say, there's still really good games. There's still gonna be really good games. And we're gonna celebrate those. All right. It's all about gaming around here. Gaming never dies. So that said, let's fucking do this. I actually really appreciate that we had this conversation because I see some folks tuning in who weren't here for the wheel spin. Bought us some time with that. There you go. How are you doing, Melly? Welcome on in. You did not miss it. We were just having a nice conversation here and getting some more votes in for the Wheel Spin Sunday number 5, only on twitch.tv/AddieAgain. I'm like, we could have had an open world Pokemon with all the regions. Oh wait, you're watching Pokopia right now, and I have aggressive boomer energy about it. Yeah, like, I'm not the biggest Pokemon fan, admittedly. Not because I don't like it or anything. I just never really played the games. I only ever played Sapphire and Leaf Green eons ago. But, yeah, it's always like, from an outsider's perspective, even, I look into the series and I'm like, dude, it's a shame that, you know, we could have had something on the scale of like a Breath of the Wild or Tears of the Kingdom by now with Pokemon, but it still just looks like it used to, you know, a gazillion years ago with very little innovation. That's just the impression I get. And then I see people talking about that. I'm like, okay, yeah, Pokemon fans have the same problem. I'm like, we could have, yeah, an open world Pokemon, all the regions, all of that. Like, that would be wild. That might even get me into the series even more because, I mean, I like that concept. It just makes sense. Silver is in my top 10 games of all time. I adore Pokemon. Hell yeah. Yeah, I know there's a lot of love for that franchise. A shit ton of love. And I know a lot of people personally who really, really like Pokemon. But yeah, I weirdly just never engaged with it. You know? I just really never engaged. That's all it really is. But I played a ton of Sapphire on the Game Boy Advance. I don't know if that's widely considered to be okay, great, not so great, but man, I love that. It was so awesome. And I'd want to say that those games have held up really well. Like, if I were to go back and play it again, I'd probably have a ton of fun. But yeah. All right, chat, it's time. Here we go. Join me as we spin the wheel once and for all on Wheel Spin Sunday number 5. For real this time. Get real. All right, here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Drum roll, please. Okay, that's actually gunfire. All right, pretend it's a drum roll. Let's do this. Oh my god, oh my god. Let's go. There you go, Melly. Time for you to sing and shout and dance and scream and shout and sing. Ladies and gentlemen, after much anticipation in the community here in the realm of twitch.tv/AddieAgain, prayers have finally been answered in the form of a Corgi's Cozy Hike. There it is. It's the end of the anime arc. That was Melly going up this mountain against insurmountable odds for getting a Corgi's Cozy Hike to win around these parts. And it did. And shout out to everybody who pitched in to help her out. Jacob, Lagernaut, Mateo. Let's freaking go. We got a Corgi's Cozy Hike finally. And to be completely 2,000,000% real with you guys, I'm feeling a little biased, all right? We keep it real around here. I'm feeling a little biased. I love all you all. I love all the games we've been playing. And god damn it, they've been so long. And this is going to be a nice little break of like 3 to 4 hours. It's a 3 to 4 hour game. So, you know, we're going to breeze through this. We're going to have a good time. It's a nice little breather from all the long ass beautiful games we've been playing. It's a very short one, yeah, and I like that a ton. Because when we finish this, this week, we can probably jump back into some Persona 5, which was Astra's game. Because that one's on hold at the moment, because it's very long. I started getting a little bit burned out. But I do want to continue a little bit and see more of it. So we'll give that a couple more spins throughout the month, largely. And we'll start with the game of the month, which is Corgi's Cozy Hike. So that's going to be this coming week. Thank you so much to everybody who voted. As always, we're just going to leave it on this on the screen for now, so anybody tuning in can see what won.
Yes!
Yes, the hype is real. There you go, Melly.
Come on! Yes!
I'm super happy for Melly here because I know she's been fighting tooth and nail for this to win. I mean, look at this, right? Hang on. Sorry, I'm a little bit obsessed with this song. 30 votes. Okay, and shout out to Teo, by the way. Melly, Teo was here and he hadn't voted yet, and he put in his 2 votes in a Corgi's Cozy Hike. He got that to a nice round number of 30. But look at this. Look at how much he's been fighting for this one. 30 votes. And look at this. We can now... Oh no, it's gone. Oh, you can't see it anymore. I'm back. I had a long work phone call. Oh shit. No, you're all good, man. You're all good. Welcome back. But Teo, it won. Corgi's Cozy Hike won. And big shout out to you because you pushed it over the edge a little bit with your 2 votes. You got it to 30. Your prayers worked. Prayage. Yeah. Hell yeah. Yeah, come on, baby. Come on. Yes. Oh yeah. Yeah, big shout out to everybody. Melly, Jokad, Lag, Teo. But everybody, that's not everybody. Everybody else who's voted up until now. Yeah, Martin here is voted for the first time too, which is big hype. He put one in for Diablo. Diablo. Thanks to you, Nicola and Bart. Finally, Corgi game. Yes, sir. You know it. It's here. It's happening. And now... and now, don't take this the wrong way, but everybody else can take a big sigh of relief knowing that they have a solid-ass chance of their games winning now that Corgi's Cozy Hike is not hogging the wheel with its fat 30-voted ass. With its fat Corgi ass. The Corgi butt. I mean, look at this giant Corgi butt here. Worth this 30 votes worth of a Corgi butt. Butt power! And yeah, admittedly, I have seen pretty much the entire game. I've seen the entire game being played, or like a bulk of it, because Jacob actually streamed it in the Discord. Courtesy of Melly, she gifted it to him. Melly is obsessed with this game, and rightfully so. It's a very pretty, wholesome game. And the thing I like a lot about it is that if you purchase it, then 10% of the proceeds actually go to animal shelters, so you have a positive impact getting the game. And it's cute because I love that game Stray, right? Which allows you to play as a cat. Very beautiful indie game by Annapurna Studio. And I was like, dude, there should be a dog game eventually as a dog person. And this is basically that. So, hey, man. You leave the corgis alone, damn you. Don't worry. I'm gonna leave all the dogs alone. Except this one. It's displayed on full blast. Pug jump scare. But no, it does look like a really wholesome, lighthearted game, and yeah, it was awesome hanging out in the Discord that day, just seeing Jacob basically let's play it. Quentin Willigreens. I literally forgot to vote because I got busy. No, you're good, man. Don't worry about it. Thankfully, you asked me if I voted or not. No, you're good. Yeah, we always do a last-second series of votes before we spin the wheel. We make sure everyone is accounted for. So. Lang, that was so much fun. I love that. Yeah, Jokad, Jacob, Let's Play streamer on Discord. Impossible. That reminds me, I need to get a new camera for Quinn. Yeah, I love that you have a doggo cam as well. It's been awesome. Seen a lot of fellow streamer homies with their own doggo cams. Around the same time, I set up my doggo cam for Link too. So, you know, I think we're starting a new meta here on Twitch, man. right? Screw the, I don't know what the weird ass metas are these days on Twitch, right? But just assume it's still the hot tub meta, right? Down to the hot tub metas. We need the doggo cam metas, okay? All right. What camera do I use? I use the Sony a6100. I'll type it in the chat. I use this one, and let me just link this here. Granted, a ton of this stuff is outdated. I mean, even my name on that page is my old streaming name, Irritable Indian, but that's most of my gear. And the cameras remain the same, so you can get the Amazon link to that from there. It's very pricey. I actually did not buy it myself. That was a surprise gift from my mom like 4 or 5 years ago, because she used to be a filmmaker. And so she's like, here, I know how much you love streaming. Have this. And I was like, wait, what? That was like one of the coolest gifts I've ever gotten, because yeah, this camera is amazing. Highly recommend it. It looks really nice. I film at, or rather record the stream at 1080-60, or no, this is actually 120, but to you guys it'll be 60 frames, because you can't go higher than that on Twitch. But it goes up to 4K 30, and it is very, very nice. But it's very pricey, right? Webcams can look incredible too, right? And they're way more cost-friendly. But yeah, DSLRs, mirrorless cameras, those will always give you like high professional studio quality. But yeah, there's a massive like price gap for sure. I was using a Logitech Brio the first couple of years I streamed, like the first 3 years of streaming. And I thought it looked pretty okay, but then and I actually used that webcam now for my doggo cam. This is the old webcam I used to use, just in general. But yeah, this thing is amazing, man. And it's not even like the best one, like the super duper, you know, high quality ones that, you know, cost like fuck you money. I think those ones are generally the A7 Triple I. Like one of my favorite streamers, my favorite of the big streamers, I would say, Maximilian Dude. Over the years, I've been slowly but surely building up my streaming setup, using his streaming setup as inspiration. As I've slowly but surely been able to like get upgrades and everything like that. And so his camera is like an A7 Triple I, which is insanely high quality, but it's expensive. But even with something like on the lower end of the spectrum of like mirrorless DSLR, you know, cameras, things can still look amazing, like with the one I use. So I'm really happy with it. I had a Razer Kiyo. It used to be my face cam, and it literally grenaded. Oh no, dude, your camera looks really good, Martin. What do you use, man? Your quality is actually amazing. I love your setup. I love the quality of your camera. I just got a cheap-ass webcam from Amazon. Hey, man, whatever gets the job done. As I say, right? As long as people are able to hear you and see you reasonably well, right? That's all that really matters. And your quality is great too, Teo. I mean, your microphone, you have a freaking, what is it? Fuck. There's like the Shure SM7B, which is what I use, and the other the Rode, right? The Rode Procaster is a very high quality dynamic mic. Yeah, the Rode Procaster. So, I mean, your visuals and quality are great too. By the way, what happened to your... congrats on fixing your webcam, dude. I gotta ask you, how did you fix your webcam, Tail? I'm so happy you managed to get that up and working again. I gotta save up for a mirrorless. Right now, my face cam is in Ozbot. Me too. I've never heard of that one. I actually want to look it up. Because I love this stuff, man. I'm super passionate about, you know, all this technical jazz with streams and upping production. Ooh. Represent Legendary Dragoon music. I love this theme. Ozbot. Me too. Oh, cool. I feel like this is like a slightly newer webcam. It's only 150 bucks on Amazon. Yeah, dude, you make your webcam look really good. I'm assuming you probably use filters and stuff too. That's the other thing, is that like, you can have, you know, not the most expensive webcam in town, but if you use the right filters, I mean, and there's so many of those these days. right? And just getting better and better. If you use the right filters, the right settings, you can achieve near studio quality with those. Especially with microphones, man. Like, I've spoken to folks in the past who are like, who've been getting into streaming, and they're like, you know, how much did the Shure SM7B cost? And I'm like, don't buy it, right? Whatever microphone you have right now, if you don't have a microphone, you know, buy something like the Fifine, buy like a Blue Yeti, right? Go with a condenser. You can make shit sound studio quality just with filters, and they're all, you know, completely free. So I have the Logitech Brio for my webcam, pretty easy to use for streaming on Linux. Oh, hell yeah, nice. Yeah, that's the same exact one I've got for Link Cam here. Like I said, the one I want is the Sony A900 or something. Yeah, it's like 5,000 bucks new. Yeah, some of them are really friggin' pricey. I think this one was like, I mean, I looked at the Amazon link after my mom bought it for me and then shipped it over. I think it was like $2,000, or close to $2,000. It's very expensive. I can do 4K at 30 or 1080p at 60 FPS. Yeah, that's basically this camera that I've got. So little as well. Yeah, the more compact something can be, the better. And I'm glad capture cards specifically are going in that direction, like the newer Elgatos, because it used to be so hectic. I found a little Reddit thread saying this one app on Linux works great with any webcam, so I decided to look into it, and it works. The app is called Cameractress. Okay, nice. Dope. Yeah, there's always that Reddit thread that chimes in with like 5 votes or 5 upvotes that saves your ass at the end of the day, right? Shout out to those. Mess with the settings more to make the webcam look better in quality. Yeah, dude, your webcam looks better than ever. The last time I tuned into your stream, with your new webcam setup now, it was looking way crisp. So, mess with the settings more to make the webcam look better in quality. Hell yeah. I think I actually just read that one too, by the way. Nope, no filters, just play with OBS light settings and saturation. Nice, yeah, and sometimes that's all it takes, just messing around with the gamma slider. And then, like I said, you can go above and beyond with that, just download so many filters that you can use. OBS is just unbelievable, man. I mean, I gotta donate to the dude who constructed it. I really should. I owe it to him, man, because OBS is the most versatile anything I have ever used for my favorite thing here ever, which is streaming. And some days I'm just working through OBS and setting new things up, and I'm like, I can't believe I'm not paying money for this. Like, it's the greatest open source software ever made. Like, it's just second to none. The only thing that sucks the Rode Procaster is that it is for podcasting mostly, so when I use it on Discord, it sounds really quiet, but the quality sounds great. So that's why when I did Overwatch, I used my headset mic and said, I got you. It's the same with the SM7B, though. I would play around with your gain, if you can make it a little bit higher. But regardless, man, I mean, Teo here has just freaking warm ice cream with almonds sprinkled on top voice, so it doesn't matter what mic he uses. Headset mic, no, studio mic. And yes, Jacob, Corgi's Cozy Hike is the official winner of Wheelspin Sunday number 5. The most hotly anticipated game in town is now coming to town. It finally happened. We made Melly the happiest person on God's green earth. The only thing that sucks is that now my webcam is facing my face instead of the side, but I will get used to it soon. Yeah, I noticed you changed the angle. But always fun to play around with that, right? Now with the Atom plugin, OBS is even better. I actually haven't heard of that one. Literally film all of my content with OBS. All of it, same. Yeah, dude, there's nothing this shit can't do. It's unbelievable, and it's just getting better and better. And yeah, I mean, I will glaze OBS until the cows come home. Warm ice cream voice. That is a new one, Lamau. Yeah, okay, maybe the ice cream is cold. All right, word shenanigans. The ice cream is cold, but what's the warm stuff? I don't know. Hot brownies, hot fudge brownies on top of it with almonds sprinkled on top. There you go. just dark chocolate voice. Yes, dark chocolate. Warm dark chocolate. That's how I would best describe Teo's beautiful commentary. And Books as well. I mean, Books is just the professional of all pros around here when it comes to voice. And I mean, he does voice acting, so hot brownie voice, golden voice, retriever voice. Okay, I'm pretty sure retriever voice would just be incessant barking until once again the cows come home, because they've been summoned by the retriever, you know. Everybody got a great voice. Facts. All right. Slightly off topic since we're now going to the voice, but I think because I dabbled in voice acting for a bit, like 2 years ago now. I was taking classes and stuff, and I auditioned for a couple things on Casting Call Club, and just networked with some folks. And the greatest bit of advice I saw was from, what's his name? Crispin Freeman, who voices a lot of characters in games. Character that comes to mind right now is Winston from Overwatch. Winton Overwatch. And what he basically said was, at a fundamental level, never forget that your voice is enough. All right, voice acting is acting at the end of the day, right? You're pretending to be someone you are not. That's acting. But you have to understand that you have your voice and your voice is unique, and that you should understand that, and you should not try to make it something it isn't, right? Play with your voice the way you can play with your voice, and recognize that it's enough. And that always stuck with me. Right? I don't do voice acting stuff anymore. I appreciate it. I love, you know, seeing stuff around it, and I love just, you know, messing around with the voices as well as I can whenever I play games on stream and stuff where I have to read. But that advice, I think, is such good advice, and, you know, resonate with strongly. Everyone could be a voice actor. It's all about authenticity. Yeah, I think that's the right word to sum it up. You just have to be authentic. You have to be true to yourself and your voice, and love your own voice, and recognize that you can do wonderful things with it, right? Because a lot of people have self-esteem problems. Everyone has them. I have them too, right? Where you can feel self-conscious. You can feel like, you know, my voice isn't enough for what I want to do with it, and I'm not going to be able to do this, that, and the other. But you can. There's going to be a role for everybody. There's going to be a role for every kind of voice out there. I did voice acting for a small game one time years ago, back in 2023, and game never came out, but it was fun. Yeah, same here. I auditioned for this project on... Casting Call Club is amazing, by the way. You find so many interesting things on there. I auditioned for a Final Fantasy IX voice project. These guys are making a voice mod, and I did the voice for Blank in that game, one of the thieves, as part of your crew at the beginning. And it was super duper fun. And then I just had fun doing the auditions. And there's another one for this indie game someone was making about a survivor. He was making like a survival game, and I had to sound frightened and scared and just full of dread. So it's just fun doing all sorts of different impressions and stuff like that. I just do Solid Snake or Big Boss voice only, really. Yeah, I mean, David Hayter and Ben Starr are the two most addictive voices to impersonate, I would say. A lot of people quit because the auditioning can be not glamorous. Yeah, it's that's just the industry, right? Just acting in general, from what I've seen, it can be incredibly crushing. Anything to do with entertainment, anything to do with trying to stand out, auditioning, right? You could put it's not. It can sometimes feel like it's not about the work you're putting in, and it's just about the luck, right? Work is super important, right? Because what is luck? It's when opportunity meets preparation, right? You put in the work so that you're prepared, and then when the opportunity arises, that intersection gets you to the next level. But for some people, those opportunities never really arise or present themselves, and so they spend years, you know, months, years, even a decade, maybe even, you know, trying to stand out, trying to get somewhere, and they don't, despite all the hard work they're putting in. Remember, folks, even your dream job has shitty aspects you will not want to do. Yeah, no, 2,000,000%, man. If you want to make something a job, it doesn't matter what it is, there are going to be aspects of it you do not want to do. You're going to have to push yourself to do a lot of that shit. If you want to, you know, make the cheddar from it, essentially. And if you don't want to make the cheddar or anything like that, then that's when you keep it as a hobby. You keep that as a hobby. That's the distinction between a job and a hobby, in my opinion, is with a job, You got to understand that you're going to have to do things you don't want to do. And if you don't want to do those things, just keep what it is that you love a hobby. Just do the things you only love about it. Because you shouldn't care if it's a hobby about, you know, making the dough. It's a good quote about luck. Yeah, it's always stuck with me. It's always stuck with me. Opportunity meets preparation. Yeah. I firmly believe in that. It keeps me sane, at least, right? Because when you look at luck, it can be easy to think of it as it's just pure randomness, right? And when you look at something and assume it's purely random, then it can be demotivating, because you might be like, why even try? Why even try if it's purely random? But if you look at it as, okay, it's an opportunity that may arise, but it requires the preparation to intersect with it, which that's going to come from my output, then it makes the concept more bearable. It makes you want to work, right? I literally detest the hamster wheel of content, but I love talking about these things, so I keep on keeping on. Yeah, man, it's as I say, like I said last time, like I've been doing this a long time, and there was a period where I really wanted to make a go for it, and I was, you know, working tooth and nail with a lot of the content I was making, and like I said, it was specifically review content, because that was what I was passionate about. That's what I wanted to make unique about me. And I knew this, once again, it's incredibly oversaturated. Everyone's doing it. Everyone's been doing it for eons, right? This maybe would have worked like, what, almost 20 years ago now on YouTube, if you were just starting out back then with review stuff. But I told myself that, you know what, I'm passionate about it. Let me just keep doing it anyway, and something will stick. And even if it doesn't, it's okay. I'm having fun. But again, God, if I'm gonna keep it really real, right? The biggest lesson I've learned, if you actually want to grow an audience, for the love of God, don't keep doing something if it's not working. You will destroy yourself. You will burn yourself out. It happened to me. It was soul crushing. I made a video on it like 2 years ago, talking about how I'm just done with YouTube. It was that bad. I still do YouTube now. I was wrong to go in with an all or nothing mentality when I was at that low point, but I was really candid. I was like, yeah, I just can't do this anymore. You know, frankly, like, I'm really burned out. I came back and I made compromises because I'm passionate about reviewing things and talking about my experience with stuff. Well, as I say, like, now it's more of a laid back, you know, Penguin Zero, Moist Critical kind of approach. Like, I just record myself talking into the camera. Not a lot of B-roll footage, editing, none of that. So yeah, like, my mindset on content has shifted a lot because I've always struggled to think of something really unique I can do. So, you know, it is what it is. I would still love to keep doing this, though. I'm never gonna trade this for the world, right? Just being able to have this platform and hang out with you guys and, you know, continue this journey with you guys, because I want to see what happens next. Anything can happen, right? Life is spontaneous, all right? And unless you're putting yourself out there, you never know what could come your way. So I want to apply that the most to what I love most here, which is streaming. So, you know, I would go back into doing voice acting, but it does take time. So maybe not sure, really. I only did that one role for some time, for some type of side character for the game. It is really fun, I will say. It is incredibly fun. But yeah, I quickly came to realize, and this was around the same time I was getting burnt out with my content, that, God, I don't know if I really want to push this. I don't. In terms of trying to get somewhere, get hired, make it a job, a career. So as I say, it's like, it became kind of a hobby. And now it's like, I don't need to go out of my way to look at voice acting specifically, because I get to just have fun with it as I stream. Because my hobby here is just talking to a microphone, right? So I can just do voices into a microphone too, whenever, you know, the desire strikes. It is fun doing the voices on stream a lot more. Exactly, just random one-liners. One-to-one is what I'm saying. Completely agree. I think it's not so much changing your niche, but your approach. Like, I changed how I make content, not why or what I say. The things I do. That's a really good point, yeah. It isn't about the niche, it's about how you tap into the niche and how you deliver content in that niche, for sure. Right, because like I was saying, it's very hard to do something truly unique at this point. Right, it's borderline impossible with how many markets have been explored, right? How many topics have been delved into and how many massive content creators there are that everyone will flock to in every niche there is. So the best you can do now, if you're an up-and-coming content creator, is to take two things that preferably are very different from one another and combine them to make something kind of unique, right? If you combine two things already done and you make something interesting from that, you can still create something new. So now it's about fusing concepts as you've done, right? With like preservation and voice acting and history as well, right? History, preservation, voice acting, very interesting concepts that are kind of sort of not related to one another. And you're bringing them together in a space that, you know, people can now come to see something interesting from, you know, the joining of those. I always get you are a mix-up, and that just speaks to the fact that everything is derivative. Yeah, just do you and experiment a lot. It's 100%, man. Everything is just derivative content at this point. If you look at my channel, you see so much trying stuff on. And that's it, dude. You just have to, like, toss stuff and see what sticks. You just have to keep tossing shit and see what sticks to the wall. That's really what it boils down to. And there are ways that have been statistically proven to work, are things that are statistically likelier to work in terms of what you toss, and things that aren't, that can inform your decision. So for example, like YouTube Shorts, the Shorts meta, right? And you're doing that right. You take the ideas you have, but you turn them into shorts, because that's the mode of delivery people, you know, are really flocking to these days. That's the kind of content everyone and their mothers is consuming. So you take your interesting ideas and deliver it to folks in a way that makes sense and has been statistically proven to work more than anything else, right? Like you have to kind of research these things. You have to understand, and also be willing to accept that sometimes it might not work out, right? That it's like, shit is so fickle, so unpredictable in content, that you need to have and it can be hard, but you have to have like the lowest of expectations. And again, it can be really hard, especially if you make something you're really proud of and you really want to get eyeballs on it. It can be tempting to go, okay, this is I know it in my bones is gonna pop off, and if it does, and when it doesn't, it's just soul crushing. You know, I've worked on shit like that in the past where it's never really gone anywhere. So you need to be like very humble. You need to, and again, it's hard. It's very hard, but you need to be like, it's just humility 100, man. You got to be really humble and patient and willing to accept that what has worked for other people may not work for you. Not because, you know, of this, not because of that, because the algorithm is ultimately like this untamable beast. I got burned out on YouTube after 2 years of doing it nonstop. I want to come back to doing it besides doing the VODs channel. Yeah. And like I myself also kind of think about that a ton, like, what if, you know, just basically what if I try this? What if I try that? But I have trouble visualizing something consistent, dude. That's been my biggest hurdle. If I'm to be completely frank about my biggest hurdle with content creation, it's definitely not being able to visualize something consistent. So I always end up falling back on like, okay, I have more of a vague general goal with my content, which is, hey, I'm going to be playing, I'm a variety creator. I'm going to be playing a bunch of games. I'll share my thoughts on them eventually. And I'll be on YouTube, the stuff I'm really excited for. And I want to like engage thoroughly with the chat, that kind of stuff. But again, it's very general, vague goals. And so I have trouble like visualizing something unique, interesting I could do that combines different things together. Like, I love review content, but okay, how can I make that interesting? What could I do? But I'm getting inspired. I'm getting more and more ideas, and maybe someday I'll try out something that spices things up. Like, and it's I feel like I'm slowly but surely learning and adopting things, right, and evolving things. I take longer than most folks. I've always been a very slow learner. Like this voting system, for example, I've always wanted to focus on inclusiveness. How do I get more people to feel interested, engaged, involved, right? So I want that. I want to create a nice, solid community of people who just love the same shit I do, of people helping one another out and enjoying stuff together. So finally came up with something like this. And I feel like I'm gonna keep growing that way, very slowly but surely, trying new things slowly but surely, seeing what works, what doesn't. Like most recently, I've been getting really inspired by Martin's shorts, for example, and as I was saying, your shorts really remind me of another dude who approaches them the same way. I forget what his name is, but his stuff was being recommended on my feed for a while, where he's not actually playing the game live, but he mashes together a bunch of common questions and comments he saw in the chat for one ultimate question that he wants to address in the short, while it looks like he's playing live, so it's a bit more relatable. And that's like a really interesting meta right now to me. And I've been thinking about, okay, how can I maybe bring something to that? Well, what can I maybe try out? So anyways, biggest thing for avoiding the I work so hard burnout is to create systems that make the content easy for you to make. If it doesn't pop off, I give 0 fucks because it took me 30 minutes total. Yes! And thank you for bringing that up, because that's kind of exactly where I'm at right now, Martin. I hit burnout so hard 2 years ago that now the kind of content I largely make for my YouTube is low effort, because I've made so much high effort shit I've been so proud of in the past, and I got tired of that stuff, like seeing this stuff going nowhere. I had so much fun making it, don't get me wrong, because it's what I'm passionate about, but it can be really demoralizing when you see that, you know, it hasn't really, you know, no one's really received it, right? So from that burnout, I eventually got to a place where I came to the conclusion that, okay, but if I still put things out, that will make me feel content, because I'm burning to say things. I'm burning to speak into the mic with ideas, thoughts I have. Like on RE9, for example, I put up my RE9 review recently. So I was burning to talk about it. But at the same time, I'm not gonna like go out of my way to like, you know, hyper edit that thing, like tons of B-roll footage, like fancy schmancy transitions, all of that, music, which would take me forever to like make those kind of videos back in the day, because I don't want to. That's just how you lead to burnout if no one's already interested in that stuff you're making. So if you're still passionate about it, keep doing it, but don't push yourself. Don't go out of your way to like make it the most amazing shit you possibly can that is within your set of abilities to do, because you know you're just gonna feel crushed when no one sees it. So I totally agree with that. When in doubt, look at the content you enjoy. Take what you enjoy, make a Frankenstein monster of all your favorite creators. Yeah, Ludwig, this big streamer, I saw his entire video on this that he took from his stream highlights, but he was doing a stream on how to grow on Twitch. I highly recommend it for anybody who hasn't seen it yet, who's an aspiring content creator, Twitch streamer. He brings up some phenomenal points. One of the things he brought up was the concept of a yoink and spin, right? You know, highlight 3 or 4 content creators that really inspire you, content creators you like, and take things that they have done, but put your own spin on it, because it's, like I said, it's impossible to do anything completely unique. Do what they have done, but do it your way, right? It's basically a meta. You have to do what's popular in the meta, or what the meta is. So as you said, you got to take what you enjoy, you got to take what you enjoy seeing, what you enjoy making, all of that, and you know, put your unique kind of brand on that. So maybe see holes in the delivery, voids you can fill. Yeah, precisely. And that's the hardest part. It's like, what can I bring to the table? Can I even bring anything to the table? That's also something I struggle with. That's something I struggle with a ton, is can I bring something to the table here? Do I believe in myself enough? So that's a whole other like can of worms. Like self-doubt, confidence. Am I actually able to deliver this in a way that nobody else really can? You know, it's tough. Random idea, doing Snake voice while playing MGS. I don't know why I thought of that, but maybe something I could do. Yeah, absolutely, dude. Just do shit that you don't see other people doing. And like start small. It could be something as simple as, you know, I'm always thinking of that, right? I'm always thinking of this, right? To set the record straight. Like, this is stuff I'm always thinking of. I haven't like given up completely, but as I say, it's something that's been very slow for me. So for example, with me, I rebranded, because my old name, it was funny, it was witty, Irritable Idiot, but it didn't make any sense. And that was like the chief amongst a couple of other reasons that I was like, okay, it's time to switch to something that makes a little bit more sense. I always introduce myself as Addy. People know me as Addy. Addy again has a nice ring to it. Okay, cool. Now we can make a logo. All right, so I got the double A's here, the Addy again, like the 2 A's. And then I enjoyed playing MGS, so now I have the bandana going on, even outside the MGS streams. So just little things that make me, you know, me. And allow that to stick in the minds of the viewers, which will allow them to remember me and the content I make that has me all over it, right? So whatever you can do to make yourself as unique as possible, I would say. But that's just a very, very small example, and you got to like go bigger over time with it. Yeah, I mean, I can just talk about this stuff for eons. You can always DM me if you need to, man. I'm here to help. Hey, thank you so much, man. And I know you offered that before as well. That's very kind of you. Means a ton. The biggest thing a lot of people miss is asking for help. They stew in their own juices. Sometimes you need outside perspective. Yeah, I totally agree. And admittedly, that's something I struggle with a ton. I've historically been really bad at asking for help. And it's probably just something that's been fueled by my anxiety. Like I struggle with a lot of social anxiety, like reaching out to other people, interacting with other people. Which is why I love streaming so much, because weirdly I just don't feel that. Like everyone needs to socialize somehow. Everyone has their own ideal environment for socializing. As shy as you might feel, as introverted as you might feel, humans are social animals. And so for me, weirdly, like streaming, the last thing I would expect allowed, you know, for me to have an outlet for that, for socializing and being able to do so comfortably. But anytime I'm not on stream, oh man, that's a whole other story. 100% MGS game while doing 100% MGS playthrough with the snake voice. Yeah, man. You just gotta have fun with different ideas, a unique spin on them, do them your way. And as I say, it could take a lot of time, but it's just a matter of waking up on a specific day and going, wait a minute, what if I did that? Wait, that might work. That might work. If you care enough, you're gonna eventually run into that. It could be when you wake up, it could be when you're taking a shit, or you're taking your dog for a walk. You just randomly get this idea in your head. It's like, why haven't I tried that? All right, I'm gonna go home and try this. And that's been the case with me. A lot of like my ideas for streams that have rather radically changed shit up around here have just kind of spawned from in the moment random kind of shower thoughts. Actually, you just hit something. You are a Kojima lover. Lean in, be the Kojima creator. Give your weird facts, highlight those things you love. Bam, channel right there. Yeah, and I thought about that too, especially with Death Stranding. Admittedly, there was a time like back when Death Stranding was relatively new and there wasn't a lot of content around it, and I loved the concept of the iceberg videos that people were making, like the XYZ iceberg explained. And I was like, what if I do that for Death Stranding? Because I looked on YouTube and I couldn't find any iceberg videos for that game. I was like, what if I make that? And I was like, but I don't know, like, that's like the self-doubt kicks in. That's my biggest enemy, dude, is the self-doubt. And just not being able to visualize, just going, oh, well, how would I go about it? What would I do? Like, how to do this? How to do that? Okay, no, it's probably a bad idea. I'm just gonna... And then I don't end up going anywhere with it, you know? So, yeah, you bring up a really good point. I do love Kojima stuff. I mean, Death Stranding is my third favorite game. And I can talk about that until the cows come home. So it makes sense for me to make more, like, niche down and focus on that and stuff. And maybe I will. I love just bringing up random topics. Well, not super random. Usually pertinent to the games we're playing and everything like that. Maybe we'll start conversations based on stuff happening in the chat. And I just love following those threads. And now, as I say, like, I've been really inspired recently by how you're approaching the shorts. How this other channel, whose name I forget, has been approaching them too. Like, what if now I jump in? Because my biggest hurdle as well is sometimes I feel like I don't articulate myself well, and I'm like, oh, there goes another short I could have made. Because I blew it. That didn't make any sense. But maybe you don't have to take that live segment and make it into a short. I don't know why I didn't really consider that before. Maybe you can just remake it. And this time you have like the ability to record, no stress, and like cut out what didn't make sense, and you know, maybe you can write a little script. So yeah. Yeah. I might combine that with certain ideas and topics that come up on stream. Psychology trait, get bored. Literally stare at a fucking wall for an hour, you work up to that time, and your mind will race. Get itchy brain because your mind hates boredom, but eventually, mind starts thinking to occupy itself. The ideas flow so much more. Yeah. That's actually some really good advice, because there's nothing worse than boredom. And when you're sitting there, your mind's like, okay, fuck, come on. Stimulation, just think of exciting shit that we could do. That's actually very, very good advice. Boredom is like where creativity is birthed, right? A random idea of doing the snake voice while playing was from this one guy from YouTube Shorts. He was playing Fortnite. But is a snake skin and doing snake voice while playing the game. That's actually really, really cool. Yeah. And again, right, that goes back to what we were saying about get inspired, right? See what people are doing that you think is cool, that you like, and then do it your own way. Bring your own spin on the table. Yeah. There are tons of ways to like kind of carve your own path that makes people pick up on that path and make them go, okay, wait, this dude's doing it in a way, he's going down a path I haven't seen before. I want to see this path. I want to see where this goes. I want to see what he says. What's interesting, I've noticed people who have been becoming bigger content creators by creating content around not something that provides immediate value to their viewers, right? In terms of, okay, they didn't know this before, now they know this, but it makes them feel validated, right? And before I say anything else, disclaimer, yes, I know there are some folks out there who make this content and it's not good faith content, right? They'll basically, it's basically rage baiting. They'll go, okay, here's why this sucks. Here's why that sucks. Everyone says this is amazing, but guess what? It's not. And here's why. And you don't fucking know. Either the person's genuine or they're just rage baiting. But the point is, they're getting people riled up, right? It's like the whole, any publicity is good publicity, and they want people to like feel, but then there are people who might genuinely agree, and those people become their audience because they feel validated in their thoughts. They're like, wait, I'm not alone. This guy agrees with me. Yeah, this thing actually sucks. Right? This is crap. No way. But on the flip side, I've seen the good version of that. I've seen the really healthy version of that. Normally you see all this rage bait crap, and I'll tell you the worst thing about the rage bait stuff, man. It's going to elevate your channel for sure. You're going to get more subscribers. You're going to get a bigger audience. But inevitably, at some point in the future, you're going to say something that is not in line with what you've said in the past that attracts all these, you know, for lack of a better word, haters. You're going to say something that will make them turn on you. You've attracted an audience that hates things. And so when you say something that is aligned with the stuff that they, with the perspective of people who don't hate that stuff, they're going to immediately turn on you and it just all crumbles down. So that's why this shit sucks, on top of it just spreading negativity and everything, right? Just getting people riled up for clicks. But I've seen the healthy version of it, and I've seen that cropping up more recently with people going, okay, everyone loves this game, but all right, here's the issues with it, and I love this game, and I play this game for like ages, years, eons, and here's why I don't think it's great, here's why it could be better, here's how it could be better, here's how the developers can make it better. I've seen a couple channels at this point that delve into that, and those are really healthy ones, because those are like good faith arguments and good faith perspectives that you normally don't see, because sometimes you see the flip side of people like overly glazing a property or like really, really loving something, and you know, maybe sometimes you'll play something and go, well, I didn't love that a lot, or I feel a little bit differently about it. I wonder if anybody else agrees. People love feeling validated, right? If you can make people feel less alone in what they feel about their perspectives on things, that's another like really effective way to kind of carve out a path for yourself in a community of people that can feel, you know, that they're a part of something and a little bit less alone. So yeah, man. And my whole point with this is that there are many different avenues, right? There are many different avenues for getting into this stuff. Also, the content isn't your ideas, it's you, your ideas, your articulation, your flaws. Nobody can do what I do because only I've lived my life. Yeah, you have your own values, your perspectives, because of your own unique life experience that only you have ever had, and that's why it's unique. And that in and of itself gives you value. That in and of itself allows you to bring your own sauce to the table in a way that nobody else has. You're already unique. You just existing makes you unique, right? But you just got to find a way of communicating that. Everyone said my Witcher short was rage bait. People read into things. Yeah, dude, that's the thing that sucks about it as well, is that the moment you might have an opinion that may seem like you're a contrarian because everyone else has your specific perspective on that thing, you can attract an audience of people who go, oh, you're just a hater. All right. You don't got nothing positive to say about it. You're a negative Nancy. All right, simmer down. And that's happened to me too before. And it sucks. And it could be really off-putting. It can make you feel like you don't want to make that content again, where you can be as honest as possible about something, because you have the anxiety of running into those kinds of people again and feeling like you're coming across as some kind of asshole, right? Which I've experienced for sure. When really all my criticisms, all my critiques are coming from a good place, because those are just my honest opinions. You know, I'm not trying to grift. I'm not trying to be a hater, rage bait. Anytime I have a critique of something, it's coming from a place of, I want to see this thing be better. Yo, Seb, how are you doing? I know I'm late. I'm guessing the game was picked. Yeah. Corgi's Cozy Hike. It finally won. And Melly is the happiest person in town as a result. After eons of praying for it, it is finally coming to town. So, I hope you're doing well, man. Thank you for being here. Yeah, this was a real fun Wheel Spin Sunday. It's been about 5 minutes of the wheel spin and deciding the game. And, an hour and 20 minutes of just having some really fun conversations about content, life, essentially. It's been great. Corgi game 1! Hell yeah. Well, he must be. She is really over the moon, yeah. And as I was saying earlier, I have seen a full playthrough of it basically in the Discord, because Jacob streamed the game, once again courtesy of Melly, because she gifted it to him. And it's really wholesome, it's really sweet. It's basically like a game for people who enjoyed Stray, which was the game about the cat by Annapurna Studio, the indie game where you play as a cat and you do cat things. It's a great game, I played it. But those folks who were dog people, predominantly, and played that and went, damn, there should be a dog game. And this is pretty much a hidden gem, where you get to play as a dog person, which is, there's nothing better than that. Sounds awesome. Sorry to have missed a great discussion. No, you're good, man. Never apologize. Thank you for being here. Yeah, we're just talking about content creation. Just talking about video games, the video game industry. It's been fun. I always love just vibing. One of the best parts about Wheel Spin Sunday is that it's a just chatting stream, right? So we don't just decide the next game, but we also get to vibe for a little bit. So, like old games that have been panned by the current industry, so I get hate. I said you played Skyrim first in the Elder Scrolls franchise in a video, and people were like, how dare you not recommend Morrowind? But just as many said, Morrowind is unplayable to me, so maybe Skyrim is for me, like you say. And a bunch of people are like, nice fake voice, bro. You can't please anyone. You can't. Yeah. To take it way back to something I actually said to you at the beginning of my Overwatch stream a couple weeks ago. And it was super wholesome because Ian enlightened me in the chat, and he was like, that's actually a quote from this burlesque model, and I had no idea. But I live by this quote, man. As I've said many quotes tonight that I've mentioned I've lived by and I really resonate with, like about luck and what have you. This one about this stuff here, that takes the cake for sure. And it's, you can be the juiciest, sweetest peach in the garden, right? But someone may not like peaches. So you can be the best version of you. You can make the content you're the proudest of, You can do all of that. You can do all the things right. But at the end of the day, there's going to be someone who doesn't jive with it. So don't worry too much. Just keep being you. Keep doing you. Keep providing what only you can provide, right? And focus on the positives that come from that. Focus on the people you get to connect with. Focus on the enriching discussions you get to have. Focus on how that affects you in a positive way, how that allows you to expand your community and reap all the rewards that way, reap all the serotonin from that, right? And as hard as it could be, tune out all the shit that is, not conducive to growth for you in any way. That is not conducive to, feeling like you're connecting positively with people. Things that kind of feel like they're there to tear you down, right? And it's hard. It's very hard to tune all of that out because as humans, we're wired to instinctively react more, be more reactive to things that we perceive as harmful, things we perceive as not in line with our best interest, right? We're just evolutionarily wired that way. So that's why, unfortunately, like the worst part of being a human, I would say, is when you get like, let's say 40 positive comments and you feel happy, but then that one negative comment like, you suck, could be enough to just completely ruin your mood and forget entirely about those 40 positive comments that you just read. Like I'm definitely someone who's a victim of that, right? It's very easy for negativity to get to me. Over time, I've done my best to grow thicker skin, because you have to if you want to be in this kind of an environment, right? And I would like to think I'm doing an okay job of it, but there's still always going to be that sting is never going to go away, right? You can make it sting less, but it's always going to sting. So I get that it could be hard as well, but you gotta at some point expect it, right? So you gotta change the best way to help with that is to change your mindset, right? When you go in with the content you've made, you should go in with the perspective of, I made this, I'm happy with it, and I love myself for having made this. I'm proud of this. And even if there are people out there who don't accept this, I will sleep easy at night, right? Knowing that I had good intentions and I worked hard and I put something out I'm happy with, right? You don't got to accept it, but I accept it. And that's what matters most. So anyways, yeah, like I said, I could talk about this forever. Also off topic, but Addy, I need the playlist first. Playlist you got, man? Fire playlist. So I have to keep it real. Basically what I do for my starting soon music, or just at this point background music, because it's been playing from the very start. I have a folder on my computer. Like here, let me show you. I have this folder that has a bunch of different games from which I really like the music and certain tracks. And for every stream, I will go through these and just randomly choose a bunch of tracks in a random order. And they'll usually, the order in which I choose them in will be informed by the game I'm playing. So the vibe should like suit that, so I'll choose specific tracks. But yeah, so it's kind of hard to link a playlist because this is how I approach it. But yeah, it's mostly just a lot of video game music. There's literally no take that's palatable to everyone. Yeah, it's impossible. You cannot please anybody. And if someone's figured out a way to do that, you gotta let me know. You gotta let me know the formula for mind control that makes everyone happy and lovely. 100%. Hear that, chat? Here, all good points. This is an awesome community to be a part of. Hell yeah, man. Thank you. And it's a pleasure to be able to connect with you guys. And that's what keeps me going ultimately, right? It's the most fun adventure I've ever embarked on. I will keep saying that until the cows come home. And such a big part of what makes this amazing is getting to share it with people who just love the same shit that I do and who share the same values. They just want to help one another and connect positively. So It is so true, and it carries over to other types of work too. Like in my run-of-the-mill office job, I don't put much stock into the good comments, I guess, but I get all bent out of shape when someone is not satisfied with my help or service. Yeah, exactly, dude. As thick as your skin might be for this kind of stuff, and this kind of environment where, you know, there's always going to be the one odd negative comment that you receive, it will never be thick enough, right? A part of it will always get to you. But at the end of the day, it all boils down to how much you love and value yourself, right? The more you love and value yourself, the less the negativity is going to sting. Because at that point, you don't care if there's negativity, because you know that you're a good person. And like I said, you're putting out something with good intentions, and that's all that matters, right? Even if like everybody hates it, everybody's pissed, right? You get like 300 negative comments, it's gonna suck. Maybe 5 positive ones. As long as you go in with good intentions, everything's gonna be okay. That's what I firmly believe, right? And again, I know it's hard. I know it's unrealistic to be 100%, you know, on the dot with this mindset. I'm not on 100% on the dot with this mindset. I'm saying all of this, but God, it's way easier said than done. But I still firmly believe that this is the way to approach life, and in this specific content creation. Speaking of content creator niches, if you do something well, people will find you. Like how any Austin can do videos where he looks into if GTA 4's power lines connect to an electrical grid, or what is the unemployment rate of a specific Skyrim city. So never get discouraged by your niche being weird. Yeah, exactly. Funny story, a long time ago, I love Good Mythical Morning. A very long time ago, like 9 or 10 years ago, they put on an episode, Rhett and Link, where they were basically talking about this content creation. Granted, there was a very different landscape back then, but this advice, you know, is timeless. They were addressing the question of, okay, how do you grow and stand out as a content creator? And they were basically saying what we've been saying, which is you take 2 very unique different ideas and you combine them together to create what you're going to bring to the table, that only you can bring to the table, essentially. And the example they came up with was, what's the profession called where you study insects, right? But that one, insectologist, we'll just call it that. Insectologist, guy who is, you know, fascinated by bugs and wants to explain bugs. And the premise of the content is this person goes to their windshield every morning in the middle of the woods where there are a ton of bugs flying around and stuff. And whatever bugs are on their windshield, they like pick them up and they explain what that bug is to the audience. And it sounds so weird and ludicrous, but I mean, that's the point. It's out there. Nobody's seen it before. It's fun, right? It's good spirited, good natured. So, you know, just go break some eggs. If you like doing something, it could be a valid idea, and only trying out will show if it actually works. Yeah. It's like what I was saying earlier. You just got to like throw a bunch of stuff at the wall and see what sticks. That's ultimately what it's about. I had a video with like hundreds of thousands of views and thousands of likes, but one person criticized my voice, destroyed me for days. Negativity bias is so real. Yeah, man, it sucks. I completely feel you on that. And don't let anyone ever take away your light, right? And as I say, it could be very hard. It really cuts deep. But just remember that just because it's negative doesn't mean it's true. Just because someone says something mean doesn't make it true, right? If you ask anybody here, if you ask, you know, anybody in your life what they think of your life, what they think of your voice, I can absolutely with 99.5% certainty guarantee you that they will really appreciate it. They will compliment it because you do genuinely have an amazing voice. But, you know, don't let our compliments convince you of that. You got to believe it yourself, man. You got to believe that yourself. So that's the way. The way to get everyone happy is to lie to them so they'll hear what they want. We humans are selfish and greedy. I believe you, Addy, are doing good, making your own thing, and good humor. Hey, thank you so much, Dark King, and welcome on in. Thank you for being here. Yeah, the way I approach streams, man, the way I just approach my life is, you know, as I say, just put stuff out there with good intentions. Do what you love, have fun with what you love, and make sure it's coming from a good place. That's it. That's how I want to live my life, and I do my best to live my life that way. Right? Some days I can be having bad days. Right? Everyone, I'm just human at the end of the day. Right? I go through ups and downs in my life just like anybody else. Everybody here goes through ups and downs. But so it could be, on some days it could be hard to be like 2,000,000%, you know, positive, to come off as someone with, you know, energy that's on point. But you know, I try my best. It's because I want this space to be somewhere where we can all kind of come together and forget our woes and laugh at least once. Just once. Just laugh or smile at least once. Have fun with something. Be it through just random, you know, nonsensical banter that we're having, or some goofy shit that happens in the games that we play. Right? That is my goal. I just want to save these memories and make sure they're good memories for posterity. And to be able to, so to be able to look back on them basically and go, yeah, we had good times. I'm happy with what I did with my time and the people that I met. I would 100% recommend Mandalore Gaming's video on how he approaches creating videos. Not only is it good advice, but in and of itself is funny as well. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna have to check that out. Mandalore Gaming. I feel like I've seen... Like, that rings a bell. It does ring a bell. Mandalore Gaming. Okay, I actually can't say I've seen the channel before, but that's fascinating. Okay, on content creation on videos. Oh, that's cool. He's a reviewer. That's right up my alley. I love review content. As I say, I'm passionate about making that kind of stuff myself. But yeah, also just anything that has to do with big content creators sharing their advice on content creation, how to approach it, how to grow, how they grew. I eat that shit up. I love watching that and getting as inspired as I possibly can. Mandalore is the shit. Great creator. Hell yeah. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna have to check something out by him. Yeah, what was I gonna say about content creation advice? Yeah, I love consuming that stuff because also Darking, thank you for the treats. For good old Link. Link getting hungry here. And yeah, it's probably a good point to say that I will be signing off in the next couple minutes or so. As always, we keep these streams kind of short. They're just chatting, you know. Purpose is to spin the wheel and just vibe for a little bit. And yeah, thank you for that, Darking. Enjoy, Link. That's your pre-dinner food. Gotta give Link his actual supper not long from now. Such a cutie, that doggo. Hey, that he is. More than a cutie and a half. He just doesn't know how to put that tongue away. He hasn't unlocked that ability. Not in his close to 11 years on this earth. He went for a different build. He put all his stats into just being as cute as possible. Not the skill that is required to put his tongue away. It was making YouTube game reviews? Oh, okay. Let me go ahead. Making YouTube game reviews. General guide. Alright, I'm gonna save this for later. Alright, dope. Thank you for sharing that, yeah. You see so much different advice from so many different content creators, and none of it is wrong. That's why I like watching a lot of content creation advice from these bigger dudes, because they know what they're talking about, right? They're big because the advice worked for them. But I like how they almost never say the same thing. Like, there will be overlap. Like, you will see the most common advice being yoink and spin, as Ludwig put it. Take something people have done before, put your own spin on it. But sometimes you'll see the odd, pearl that you don't really see anywhere else from anybody else. For example, there was a great bit of advice from Maximilian Dude, who, once again, he's my favorite of the big content creators. I'm very inspired in a lot of ways. And he was being interviewed at, I think it was like Evo, because he's a fighting game content creator, or somewhere like that, about what his advice is for people getting into YouTube. And what he said was, basically just watch a ton of YouTube and determine like the content that you want to see, right? Find out what it is that you want to see and that you don't see enough of. So it's a little bit of the opposite. Like, most people will tell you, look at who inspires you, look at the content that, you really like, look at different concepts that you want to combine together. But sometimes it can be as simple as, why am I going on YouTube, right? Why am I going on YouTube in the first place? What am I looking up? Think about what it is that you're looking up, right? Are you looking up how to, I'll actually give an example based on my perspective, which is very pertinent in my experience. Let's say you're looking up where to go after a certain point in a game, right? You type that in, you hit enter, and you don't see any guides on it. Now, that's content that you want to see because you looked it up, right? So I applied that principle a couple of years ago, like 3 years ago, like 2023. I was playing Final Fantasy 1, and I was really confused. I was like, where do I go after the Earth Cave in this game? And I typed that into YouTube, and instead of getting like a specific explanation of that, and I went on like game facts and stuff, instead of seeing the exact steps for where to go afterwards, I saw things like full playthrough, like full walkthrough guide, like 4-hour-long videos and stuff, and like these huge threads on like general tips and all of that, like complete walkthroughs, but not that specific area I needed. So I was like, oh, once I found the information, I was like, okay, now I know how to do it. But what if someone else types this in because I've typed it in, right? It's content I wanted to see. So chances are there are more people out there who want to see that content. So now that I know how to do this one thing, let me make a guide on it. So guide videos are also really, really valuable. Like my best friend, Tuzi, who basically got me into content creation back in 2019, and now makes his own content, and he's very good at it, and he's popping off, and he recently got back into YouTube. His whole thing is just guide content about Core Keeper, just doing it in a really interesting, funny way. So guide content could be a huge wealth of value. So I went through this little phase of like, okay, what am I stuck on in the game? Is there content on it on YouTube? Okay, there's not. So let me make a video. And I made a video on where to go after the Earth Cave in Final Fantasy 1. And it's my most popular video on YouTube. It has like 15,000 views. And counting. Like, people are still coming to watch that video, and I get comments every now and again saying, yo, thank you, this helped out, and stuff like that. So, dude, if you could do guides are very low-hanging fruit, but at the same time, like, you got to do the right kind of guides. Like, if you're the millionth person to make a guide on something, it's probably not going to pop up. Like, okay, how to get Master Sword in Breath of the Wild. Like, there are 2 million guides on that. But if you look up something, you can't find it, and you do it, that's good. But at the same time, it gives you views, but it doesn't give you... If your goal is to build an audience, and this is what I've learned, views don't necessarily mean anything, man. Like, I have a TikTok that got like 115,000 views. It's my most popular one from when I was streaming Death Stranding 2. Not one person ended up following me on Twitch. I didn't see a single person who commented on that short show up anywhere else. And like, my goal is to create this community on Twitch. This is where I spend a majority of my time, right? So it's got to be content that like makes people want to see more, especially wherever it is that you want to grow. So if you want to grow on Twitch, you got to find a way to make content that makes people want to see you live and that kind of thing. So yeah, that's my big spiel on that. I was making YouTube games, so I think this applies to all advice and even taking in news, etc. I have multiple sources, so you get a couple of different viewpoints at least. Yeah, basically just, do your research, right? And notice gaps, as Martin was saying earlier. Did the exact thing for Morrowind's leveling system is a pain point. So make a video. Yeah, that's actually the easiest, most low-hanging fruit way of going about it, I would say. Type something into YouTube, right? And see if the information is there, but actually, want that information in the first place. Actually make sure you want it and you desire the knowledge from it, because you need help and you haven't done whatever it is you need to do. And once you get it, think to yourself, okay, could I have found that more easily? Like, was it difficult to find? And if it was, then that's maybe where you could step in. And I just haven't gotten around to it because I've been kind of lazy lately. But I found something very recently that I can fill in that regard. And it's for something completely unrelated. It's more like tech stuff. I recently, like a year ago at this point, fixed my issue with everything stuttering on my computer, and I could barely find the solution. Like, virtually nobody talks about it online, and all you got to do is go to your device manager and turn off, your CPU for video adapters. Like, your CPU should not be there. So I've been considering going and just making a short explaining how to do that, because I helped a couple other people with that exact step that fixed their issues too, but I don't see anything on it online. So like that, you just gotta like go, damn, that was hard for me to find, so maybe I'll make it easier for people in the future to find now. That feels nice, because, making things easier for people down the line that wasn't easy for you is like having a bit of a positive impact. The pain of trying to find a guide on a specific thing and your search results pull in long plays. Right. Yeah, it sucks, man. It's so painful. So yeah, I ended up making a ton of guides for like Final Fantasy 1. Like, I'll show you guys. And this is like the era where I was really kind of... Hang on, let me pull up my channel. Just throwing stuff at the wall and seeing what will work for like YouTube specifically. But if you go to like my most popular stuff here... See, there you go. Where to go after Earth Cave. Also, my stuff is in a weird spot. There we go. There was a phase I went through where I made guides. Where to go Earth Cave in Final Fantasy 1, quick progression guide. It's like a minute long. Where to find the ferry and caravan. It's a minute and 30. Like, these are my most popular things with over like 10,000 views. Where to find Rosetta Stone. And then like I had a... Yeah, Final Fantasy 16. I did the whole, like, the whole clickbait strat. Well, it's not really clickbait, because you got the information you need. I try to give it in the most condensed, straightforward way possible. But eye-catching thumbnail, just big keywords in the title. AP easily, fastest, easiest. Right? Things that just catch folks' attention. How to get Sunfire, Final Fantasy 2. It wasn't content I wanted to make inherently. Like, in an ideal world, I would make shit like this, right? Death Stranding novelization review. This is when I started making reviews like 4 years ago. It's the first one I made, funnily, is my most popular review video on YouTube. No other review I ever made even came close. Maybe this one though. Yeah, Death Stranding ending and review. Ending reaction and review. So yeah, I used to like... I would basically make a ton of these kind of videos, and for a period I was making guides, and then I kind of just, these fizzled out because I couldn't think of more to make for the things I was playing, for stuff that would be difficult for people to find. So that's like a really good strategy. Just see what there isn't enough of and fill that gap. Like, this is kind of rising now. Yeah, I forgot I made this one. Final Fantasy 2 quick progression guide with 625 views. I made a couple S rank guides too. Dude, I forgot about this. Yeah, for... What was it? Armored Core? When that came out? Like, okay, how do you S rank the missions? Now, these ones didn't do as well because, obviously, bigger creators were doing the same thing. You'd watch those ones first because of algorithm, but... Yeah, man. W thumbnail say thank you. Yeah, it was fun. Like, that was the first time I'd actually done the whole, let's make eye-catching big words, keywords in the thumbnails and in the titles for folks that they definitely are going to want to click on. I've seen lately some generic thing is weird titles on YouTube lately. It might be because I watched one video with that sort of title and the algorithm wants to push that on me now. Yeah. The way the YouTube algorithm works now, to my knowledge, is the moment you click on a video, it seems like even if you don't give it any watch time, you're now, congratulations, gonna get like a slew of those videos, or videos of the same nature, in that same vein. You're just gonna get like 300 of those like flooding in. It's interesting how that works, because I saw like I was watching some movie clips the other day. I didn't even watch the entirety of the clip. I clicked on like a City of God clip. It's a great film, one of my favorites, and I didn't even watch the whole thing. And the next thing you know, my feed was just, dude, it was flooded with clips from that movie. So yeah, I've kept my algorithm well fed though, so a single misclick is like pissing in an ocean of piss. Yeah, I know what you mean. You gotta diversify, man. Have a nice assortment of content there. But yeah, all good stuff, dude. If there's one takeaway I want to hit with all of this, with this amazing conversation we've had, it's that just be you. Stay true to yourself. You know, approach things with good intentions, with you know, good spirits in mind, right? Have fun with what you're doing. And if you're passionate enough about something, you're very slowly but surely, maybe even quickly, right? People learn at different paces. You will, over time, find what works and what doesn't. You're at the very least going to end up embarking on an interesting journey with content creation. And as they say, and I think this is what this leads me to, it's about the journey, you know, not the destination. It's absolutely what it's about at the end of the day. So, and yeah, believe in the ball and throw yourself. All right, you are the ball. Throw yourself. Kept my algorithm. Sorry, I read that. But yeah, chat. I'm gonna sign off now. It's about to be 9 Eastern. I gotta go get some food. I gotta get the heck out of here. So I'm just gonna keep this short for today. Right. Once again, Wheel Spin Sundays are meant to be short but sweet, baby. And we got Corgi's Cozy Hike. It'll be coming up on Wednesday. That is when I am going to begin the streams for the week. And I will keep you guys notified about the schedule in the Discord. I'm going to go post that in a couple minutes after ending stream. And of course on Twitch itself. If you guys are ever wondering what the schedule of the week is like, they go up every Sunday in the Discord and in the schedule tab of Twitch. So stay tuned. We're going to be in Corgi's Cozy Hike and jumping back into some RE9, because I do want to check out a ton of the achievements, challenges. I had a ton of fun with it. So I'll see you then. Also to keep in mind, each watch surface is a different algorithm. And let's head over here, by the way. Boop. Each watch surface is a different algorithm. YouTube has a TV algorithm, phone algorithm, PC algorithm. Hunting for algorithmic optimization is a useless exercise. Yeah, it's important to be mindful of what is getting recommended to people, but don't be obsessed with it, right? Don't go down that frivolous path of, oh, like, this is, like, I gotta tame the algorithm. No, just look at, dude, what are people seemingly interested in right now? Can you bring something to the table? And even if not, what is unique about you, right? And how can you showcase that through content? There's an audience for everything, right? It's just about capturing that audience through your uniqueness, right? You're all unique. You're all beautiful. Thank you guys so much. Stay tuned for Wednesday. I'll see you guys then. And until then, I'm gonna actually raid somebody because the night is young. That's a good thing I remembered. Let's send with the raid. Let's see who's on. Oh, let's go, dude. Our good buddy Colton is on. He's streaming some Final Fantasy Tactics. Oh yes, doing a tactics speedrun. Been a minute since we headed in there. Showed him all the love. So let's go do that. All right. Let's raid in on Colton, and yeah, end it with that. All right. Keep on keeping on, guys. Bye bye.